Hey everyone, this is a review of the Rockpals 300 lithium battery with AC, DC, and USB outputs, as well as 2 LED lights. So this is just a discussion of the battery and its capabilities in my limited testing so far. Just for full disclosure, I paid for this. I was not given this. I'm in no way affiliated with the manufacturer. I'm not receiving anything for this review. So each one of these outputs is individually controlled. I'm just turning on each one. You'll see the inverter coming up to voltage. And yeah, it's the battery's sounding an alarm because the voltage is so low. But if you have a device plugged into the AC outlet, it will show you the wattage that the device is consuming. That's nice, and it's just showing you which of the outputs are active. Obviously, the battery is critically low, but there would be bars that fill that when it's fully charged. And the display would also show you that the device is charging. If it was charging, it will not, however, tell you the incoming voltage or wattage. It just shows you that it is or is not charging the battery. It would be nice if it did include the incoming voltage or wattage info or amps. Okay, so the display, it's a nice display. It just looks murky because I've left the protective film on there. The display does wash out in bright direct sunlight, so I think a couple of reviewers have mentioned that. As for the charging methods, you can charge it via DC cigarette lighter. It comes with the AC cord. Also comes with MC4 connectors, so you can charge it directly from a panel that has MC4 connectors on it. The solar charging works great with this. I think the consensus is that there is some kind of MPPT controller, because this added about 1 volt in approximately 2 hours. I took a volt off of the battery. I brought it from 12.6 down to 11.6 volts, hooked it up to a 100-watt panel, and no more than 2 hours that volt had been replenished. So pretty good. I think that rivals the Jackery charging. There's a lot of discussion about this compared to the Jackery. There's a great video that Will Pros did. I'll put a link to it below. That's a much more technical discussion of the Rockpals battery, especially compared to some of the competitors. So, another issue compared to Jackery is this 12-volt output is not regulated. Whereas with the Jackery, for example, as the voltage of the battery decreases, the voltage coming out of the 12-volt outlet remains a constant. So for devices that are sensitive to the voltage, the Jackery is supposedly superior in that regard. But I tested that with my Alpacool 12-volt refrigerator. That's a very sensitive appliance to the 12-volt voltage, and the refrigerator ran fine all the way down to the point where the alarm starts going off. So 9.4, 9.3 volts, the refrigerator threw a code and shut down, which is also the point where this battery is almost completely depleted and will stop outputting in itself. You've got 4 USBs, you have some 12-volt 4-amp DC outputs, and then we've got the AC output, and this is supposedly a sine inverter, and there is a YouTube video where somebody attaches an oscilloscope to it, and it does seem to be truly a sine output inverter. All right, so let's talk about the battery itself, whether or not it truly is 280 watt hours. Rockpals claims that through the AC inverter there's about a 15% loss. So they're stating it's a 280 watt hour battery, 15% loss. In a real world example, you should get 238 watts out of the battery via the AC outlet. So I tested this. I found that it actually does a little bit better than that, amazingly. I tested it with a fan that draws 600 watts consistently, and the first test, the battery powered the 60 watt fan for 4 hours, so that means 60 times 4, 240 watts, so just a little bit above what the manufacturer says that this will do. And then I tested it again. I charged the battery up to full with the AC cord, and I actually let it sit for 3 days. So I just wanted to see if there was any discharge with the battery just sitting idle with all the outputs off. And there was a very small, maybe like 0.1 of a volt loss, and that's according to the display. So who knows? It pretty much is negligible. But the second try, it powered the 60 watt fan for 4.5 hours. So that means 270 watt hours. So even better than the first try, and definitely better than what the manufacturer thinks this will do with loss through the AC inverter. So that's pretty great. Yeah, so you've got the fans are located, I don't know if they'll show up here, but there's two cooling fans. They do kick on. They're relatively quiet. They kick on when it's charging. They kick on when it's outputting. So they're using a little bit of the battery as well. Probably negligible also. Yeah, so pretty impressive so far. It's rare that I've come across something that actually exceeds what the manufacturer says it's going to do. So I also grabbed the Rockpals 100-watt solar panel. I'm going to do a separate review on that. That's pretty impressive as well. That's what I used to charge this, where it brought it up to from 11.6 to 12.6 in about 2 hours. But the nice thing about that panel, and again, this will be a separate review, but that panel has some individual USB ports on it, so there's no need for a battery. You can charge small USB power packs, or you can even, just charge your phone right off of it, or small USB devices, USB fans, that kind of stuff. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about this. Please subscribe.